Hey, good morning, and how are you guys doing today? I hope you're doing amazing. So, we're back for day two of the free Harvard online course, Rhetoric, the Art of Persuasive Writing and Public Speaking. As you can see, actually, they have some great options over here that I just noticed. And we're going to knock this one out real quick. But I will be legit with you guys. I'm noticing this constitutional government foundations class over here. That looks fun to take. This prediction X almonds, oracles, and prophecies. Um, that could be super interesting also. And so I'm not really sure if we'll knock out another. We'll probably knock out another. I mean, like, we're going to get back to writing. Maybe I'll pick a different time that we do classes at or something like that. Okay, so obviously they're going to offer us a discount because it's day two. If we'd like to pay for the class and receive full credit, we could now receive full credit for $146.30. So if you are going to do this, I would suggest to you start it free, wait till the next day, and take this frickin' discount. Just just as a recommendation. Or see if this discount of new to edX works for you right off the bat. They gave me a discount code here. I'm going to just tell you guys I don't know if that works or not, but let me take and let's throw that into the chat real quick. Oh, we don't have chat up. Never mind. I'll make sure to put that discount code in the description later today, just so you guys have it. I'm going to get chat up, then we're going to move forward. We have to write an opinion piece, op ed, editorial type thing as part of this class. Weirdly enough, they allow you to break it up over such an extended time that it's kind of a way easier way to do it than I would have guessed. Hold on one second. Let me just make sure we got chat up. So I do hope you guys are all freaking just rocking today, man. I'm kicking some butt. Think we're about to be rocking this day out pretty hardcore. Okay, we have got officially, I have chat so I can see what's going on in the universe. And we can just start doing stuff. Okay, the op ed. Most of us are familiar with the term op ed, but some may not know where it comes from. An editorial is an opinion piece written by a a publications editor or representative of the editorial board. The op-ed is an opinion piece by an independent writer. Can I be honest? Most op-eds are just pure propaganda funded by one side or the other to, you know, make some point, but we'll pretend that they're not. It traditionally appears on the opposite page from the editorial, hence the name, op ed. Oh, opposite page of the editorial. I did not know that's where that came from. I'm going to be legit telling you guys that is something we've learned today. Okay. Op eds allow the writer to take a stand on a particular, often controversial topic. They can tackle any subject from popularism to parking permits. They allow experts and ordinary citizens to contribute to public discourse and writing one is an excellent way to practice your rhetorical skills. Okay, the first thing you need is something to write about. Think about an issue that matters to you. If you could change one thing about the world, your country, or your community, what would it be? Why is it important? What do you want people to think or do? How might you persuade them? Okay, in this space below, state your topic and your opinion. Okay, guys, I don't have a topic yet. So let us figure that out, right? So this is where if we upgrade it, they would review our topic idea. Honestly, the other day when we got to this point, before I read this, obviously, if we go backwards in the course, it lets us know that we'll have an op ed and stuff, but it literally in module one, which we'll be doing today, brainstorming the outline and stuff like that, which we're going to knock out. I didn't see that they were going to subject restrict it in the manner that they did. And so I had looked up Edward Bernays, who is one of the most brilliant propagandists or rhetorical minds in history. And I kind of wanted to focus on him and his effect on propaganda. But since they have definitely changed this, Edward Bernays will not be the subject matter of my op ed, and we will pick a new topic. But I would like to tell you how effective Edward Bernays was. Edward Bernays is the man that created modern propaganda. The Germans learned propaganda from Edward Bernays. I know, you guys are like, are you serious? Dude was so cunning that he convinced girls to smoke on behalf of the tobacco industry by making them feel that they were being kept out of something by men. That's right. He literally made them feel like they were being gatekept from smoking to make them want to smoke. I know, right? The guy's like the grandfather of gaslighting. I'm going to just be honest. So, I will figure out what topic we will do. And we will do it really easy. Oh, you know what? They just want us to pick something we would change. Do you guys want to pick something extreme we would change? Okay. We could take an extreme position, like some kind of mandatory conscription for voting rights or something like that. I mean, I'm sure people will be telling us we're horrible, but or we could pick something that's kind of more reasonable and will not get us as much from our classmates' feedback on how naughty we are or some crap. So let's think. What would we change? Hmm. I don't want to get in trouble for certain topics, guys. I keep on having topics pop into my mind, and I don't want the heat from them. Um, what do we think if you could change one thing about the world, your country, or your community? What would that be? I think I would change. You know what? That's way too controversial. Let's back off of that. Let. I was about to be like people's some naughty stuff. So let's find something reasonable. I'm gonna drink a little bit of coffee here while my mind tumbles this through. If you guys have some great, brilliant idea, feel free to say some stuff in chat. I'm gonna just tell you. Sometimes you guys are freaking awesome, knowledge wise, and have, and I'm like, whoa, that was great. Um, honestly, Okay, so the subject, course, and methods. Okay, in the US, we need a total redo of our outdated education system. The subject, course, and methods do not truly produce the desired outcome for society or the students. That is going to be what we're saying. That's our summation. The basically the subject, course, and methods do not truly produce the desired outcomes for societies or our students, and so we need to redo the education system. We are going to submit that baby right there. Boom. We're okay with that. That's good. That sounds good to me. I like it. Okay, now we're going to brainstorm the outline. Honestly, I brainstormed a whole bunch of crap. This is not how I brainstorm, guys. I can throw them some stuff down. And let's do. What are our core things going to be? Okay. What are society's expectations for the education system? Can we find something? And so during when I was in college, I would have used Academic Source Premier or one of the other great little look tos. I honestly have never used Google. What is it? Google Scholar, I think is what it's called. But let's see if we can find a basic outline of what the expectations of people are for the. Okay, let's look at this. Over 50%. Okay, so according to the Pew, and so we're going to actually pull in some facts. So this isn't going to be totally an opinion piece. So I'm kind of breaking their rules. We're going to go with some stuff. I'll actually also cite this. For citations, I used to do son of citation, and I think at one point I used Al at Purdue. Um, but let's just be honest. I haven't used Al at Purdue for a second. So, um, what did they say specifically? Okay, then we're going to put the site or put the where we got that from. So we're not just We're not trying to have a total opinion piece. We'll have some actual stuff. Boom. Okay. Next. So we've already got that society is not happening. I mean, not happen. Next, we're going to look up a different thing. Let's look at this. Um, okay, so we're wanting average income of a high school graduate adjusted for real wages. I'm going to tell you they're going to have a freaking hard time meeting the usual weekly earnings for a high school diploma, less than high school diploma, some college, blah, blah, blah. You know what really bugs me about this is they don't have trades in here. You see how they just have degrees, high school or no high school? I'm going to tell you, plumbers are making up in this zone right here. Like, flat out. So, I'm trying to see if there's something we can use out of this with our brainstorming or if this is just crap. Okay. Let's think about this then. What's our opinion on this? One, okay. One, graduates lack financial understanding. Financial understanding impacts most of the normal U.S. citizen's life. Not understanding these concepts locks people out of opportunities and wealth. Two, what is another issue we're going to have with the U.S. education system that we think they fell at? Lack of critical thinking skills. Okay, I think we can all agree they're not teaching critical thinking skills, right? Um, that's a huge thing. What else do we got an issue with the education system? Okay, the core need of schools as an institution for parents to work while their children are safely somewhere still exists, right? We'll move that to the end. Honestly, I think that's one of the key issues with why it's so hard to change the education system. You can't really be like, okay, we're going to hybrid this baby. Half of you are going to be at home every other week and doing it online because the parents aren't home anymore. They're at work. So there's nobody there at home for kids to just be able to be cycled. I mean, like, we could modernize the crap out of the education system. With the technology we currently have, we could do some amazing things. But reality, we know that the education system is also a daycare system. And it enables tons of Americans to go to work, right? And so, I think that we all expect a person to be able to get out of high school and not be an absolute failure. Oh, you know what? This is what we could look up. Okay, we're looking up the percentage of high school graduates in the United States that are illiterate. 19% of high school graduates are functionally freaking illiterate, you guys. Oh my god. 30% are below a basic level of frickin' reading. Oh my god. How is this? This is crazy, you guys. Okay, we'll use this one from 45 literacy, but there's tons of different ones in here breaking down high schoolers in America. 1 in 5 high schoolers in America, if you pass them something, they'll just be looking at you like you're freaking crazy. That is absolute not okay. Okay, we're going to grab this one. I almost want to get this one from literasync.com. Here, let's get this one. We'll grab this, statistics from this blog. I hate using blogs, but we will. 20% of when I write my op-ed, it'll have this stuff in it. He'll probably say that's not an op-ed. We can all agree that the education system, you have 1 in 5. How do you get through high school? That means literally multiple teachers knew a dude couldn't read and just said F it and moved somebody forward. Is that not an issue? These like that. You should get fired if a guy gets through your classes and gets his. Honestly, what the hell are they handing the diploma for? Like, this is blowing my mind actually a little bit. 1 in 5 people walking across the graduation stage is freaking functionally illiterate in America. This is an issue that we should actually freak out about. Honestly, I don't know what an acceptable percentage of illiterate high school graduates is, but basically, I don't think you should graduate high school if you're illiterate. Maybe I'm being brutally mean here. Let's actually look up average mathematic competency of a graduate. By the way, I'm not just bashing America today. I'm doing an op-ed on why we should change our outdated, absolutely ridiculously not functioning school system now that I realize how ridiculous not functioning it is. Okay. Okay, mathematics level. How is this that we seem to be doing better? Algebra 2. I don't believe if you're illiterate you're completing frickin' algebra or anything, honestly, but whatever. We'll pretend. Okay. Are we doing a functional job on mathematics? We're definitely not leading the world in mathematics. Sorry about that, guys. We are below the frickin'. Okay, boom. We grab that. Generally, we're below average. Okay. I believe that's true. Okay, so we're obviously going to have a. Okay, the only thing the U.S. education system has done is grow the power of the teachers union, which has created this situation. So, you can't fire teachers once they get tenure. Teachers don't actually have to get you to be able to read to graduate you out of high school in America. You can not know shit about how to balance a bank book, take out a loan on a business, understand basic depreciation. That's all fine. But we'll teach you 52 frickin' genders. I mean, like, let's just be honest. Our education system is a complete gross failure. We don't develop critical thinking skills. We don't develop the basic cores that our society actually expects out of a school. I feel we're going to submit this. This is our basic, our brainstorming is that we're pretty sure the U.S. education system and the teachers as a whole, not the good teachers, but the average teacher suck shit. And I can say that because if you can get through high school, that means that you've had 4 different years for them to figure out that you couldn't read, and none of those teachers figured out you couldn't read and dealt with it. So yeah, I can say on average, if that's what's going on, that's pretty shitty teaching. Okay, moving forward on this. Okay, in this course, we will be using annotation tools to conduct our analysis of the featured speeches. First, you will make your own annotations based on your own first impressions. Then you will cover some key rhetorical terms and concepts. You will then be able to add your annotations based on what you have learned. After this step, you will be able to review your peers' comments. You will then watch the corresponding video lecture and finally review the instructor's annotations and compare them with your own. The following exercise serves 2 purposes. One is to familiarize you with annotation tools. The other is to get you to think about the instinctive reaction to speech and writing. Complete your analysis of Dr. Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech or dream address below. We will come back to this speech module, in module 2. Okay, select the text you wish to annotate, then highlight the icon. Then add your comment, click save. Editing by hovering over your annotation and clicking the pencil or paper button. Delete by clicking the trash button. Reply by hovering over selecting an annotation in the sidebar, then clicking reply button. In the first impressions section, you will only see your annotations. In your analysis section, you will see your annotations and may opt to see your classmates' annotations as well. In the instructor's analysis section, you will see the instructor's annotations and may compare them to your classmates' annotations in your own. The first impression, Martin Luther King Jr.'s I Have a Dream speech. Read and annotate the text below. The words, phrases, and passages do you find most powerful and why? Okay, so we'll say it's okay for that. Here's the Okay, we're going to do this right off the bat. So the reason this is getting annotated is right here. Okay, save. 5 score. Okay, I am happy to join you today in what will go down in history as the greatest demonstration of freedom in our history today. I would have never used history that many times in a row, but whatever. That's everybody's their own. And obviously, this is a brilliant and great speech, right? 5 score years ago, a great American in whose symbolic shadow we stand today signed the Emancipation Proclamation. Okay, so this harkens back. Okay, boom. This momentous decree came as a great beacon of light and hope to millions of Negro slaves. I really don't even like that word. Slaves who had been searing in the flame and withering injustice. It came as a joyous daybreak to end the long night of their captivity. But 100 years later, I'm really uncomfortable with the word, but we're going to go through it. We're going to read it anyway. But 100 years later, the Negro still is not free. 100 years later, the life of the Negro is still sadly crippled by the manacles of segregation and the chains of discrimination. I don't know what I thought I was reading there. Let's see. What do we think about this? I think it invokes massive imagery. Okay, we'll read through this and then I'm going to put my thing. But 100 years later, the Negro is not free. 100 years later, the life of the Negro is still sadly crippled by the manacles of segregation and the chains of discrimination. 100 years later, the Negro lives on a lonely island of poverty in the midst of a vast ocean of material prosperity. 100 years later, the Negro is still languishing in the corner of American society and finds himself in exile in his own land. And so we've come here today to dramatize a shameful condition. Honestly, I really think he did a great job with the imagery. Okay. In a sense, we've come to our nation's capital to cash a check. When the architects of our republic wrote the magnificent words of the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence, they were signed as a promissory note to which every American was to fall heir. This note was a promise that all men, yes, black as well as white men, would be guaranteed the unalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, which I absolutely agree with. It is obvious today that America has defaulted on that promissory note insofar as her citizens of color are concerned. Oh, okay. Instead of honoring this sacred obligation, America has given the Negro people a bad check, a check which has come back marked insufficient funds. That's really vague propaganda-y, but obviously it's not incorrect-ish. So I'm not really sure. I probably should have something to say there. I don't know what to annotate it with right this second. So let's move forward a little bit. But we refuse to believe the Bank of Justice is bankrupt. We refuse to believe that there is insufficient funds in the great vaults of opportunity of this nation. And so we've come to cash this check, a check that will give us, upon demand, the riches of freedom and the security of justice. I really feel this whole section is one thing right here. I really like it. I think it's worded amazing. I wonder how many times Martin Luther King rewrote this speech. Oh, do you think we can find that out? Oh, there's two different speeches. Okay. I don't know enough about this. They're not giving me information that's helpful. So they didn't tell us how many, but obviously more than one. Okay, let's try to figure this out. What do we think about this? We can come back and annotate it better later. Maybe that's what we'll have to do. Um, we have also come to this hollowed spot to remind America of the first fierce urgency of now. This is no this is no time. Okay, not the time is what I wrote. This is no time to engage in the luxury of cooling off or taking the tranquilizing drug of gradualism. Now is the time to make the real promise of democracy. Now is the time to raise from the dark and desolate valley of segregation to the sunlit path of racial justice. Now is the time to lift our nation from the quicksands of racial injustice to the solid rock of brotherhood. Now is the time to make justice of reality for all of God's children. I really like this section actually better than this section. We're gonna put this one, and it looks like he keeps going on the demand for urgency. Was 1963 like a super high crime summer or something like that? Because the way it's making it sound is like this is in the middle of pitched um, something. You know, like what was going on that it's like now is not the time to engage in the luxury of cooling off. Okay, you know what? Let's do this. We know for sure that that's actually super important. Okay. I'm going to look up what was going on. Just wanting to know because this kind of context can help us. Well, we know about this, but what about the actual Brigham campaigns? Nonviolent campaign against segregation. Okay, so there was currently a whole bunch of crap going on. Okay, so okay, he seemed to know that he had current momentum on his side. With the social unrest, he knew that he needed to act before it dissipated. Obviously, this will get worked more. Okay, let's move forward. It would be fatal for the nation to overlook the urgency of this moment, and this is more of the whole what was going on, right? The sweltering summer of the Negro's legitimate discontent will not pass until there is an invigorating autumn of freedom and equality. Man, I really like that. Okay, I like the imagery stuff. Okay, so this is what we wrote. He is saying the unrest will not stop until there is a change, though. And that is what he's saying there. This sweltering summer of the Negro's legitimate discontent, which was riots, will not pass until there is an invigorating autumn of freedom and equality. So I'm not arguing with his concept, but that really is what that's saying. In 1963 is not an end, but in a beginning. And those who hope that the Negroes needs to blow off steam and will now be content with will have a rude awakening if the nation returns to the business as usual. I honestly did not realize that there was. I don't know what I thought was going on at the time of the emergence of Dr. King. You know what I mean? Obviously, there was a lot of social up upheaval, right? And so that obviously fed into it. It's kind of interesting. There will be neither rest nor tranquility in America until the Negro is granted his citizenship rights. The whirlwind of revolt will continue to shake the foundation of our nation until the bright day of justice emerges. So this is more of the whole. Um, so he then threatens again with unrest will continue. But there is something that I must say to my people who stand on the warm threshold which leads to the palace of justice. In the process of gaining our rightful place, we must not be guilty or of wrongful deeds. Let us not seek to satisfy the thirst for freedom by drinking from the cup of bitterness and hatred. This totally got missed by a lot of people. Holy crap, my level of. I Okay. I don't believe it was listened to. That movement has turned super hateful. We must forever conduct our struggle on the high planes of dignity and discipline. That I like. I love how he says that. We must not allow our creative protests to degenerate into physical violence. Again and again, we must rise to the majestic heights of meeting physical force with soul force. That's not a real thing. The marvelous new military, which has engulfed the Negro community, must now lead us to a distrust of all white people. And many of our white brothers, as evidenced by their presence here today, have came to realize that their destiny is tied up with our destiny. And they have came to realize that their freedom is inextricably bound to our freedom. We cannot walk alone. So this is smart. Okay. Obviously, this is freaking a pretty long speech. As we walk, we must make the pledge that we shall always march ahead. We cannot turn back. There are those who are asking the devotees of the civil rights, when will you be satisfied? We can never be satisfied as long as the Negro is the victim of unspeakable horrors of police brutality. We can never be satisfied as long as our bodies, heavy with fatigue of travel, cannot gain lodging in the motels of the highway and the hotels of the city. We cannot be satisfied as long as the Negro's basic mobility is from a smaller ghetto to a larger one. We can never be satisfied as long as our children are stripped of their selfhood and robbed of their dignity by signs stating for whites only. We cannot stay satisfied as long as the Negro in Mississippi cannot vote and the Negro of New York believes he has nothing for which to vote. No, no, we are not satisfied, and we will not be satisfied until justice rolls down like water and righteousness like a mighty stream. Okay, so let's just be honest. It's a list of grievances. I am not I am not unmindful that some of you have come here out of the great trials and tribulations. Some of you have come fresh from narrow jail cells. Some of you have come from areas where your quest for freedom left you battered by the storms of persecution and staggered by the winds of police brutality. Man, that is frickin' good. His ability to write stuff, the imagery. And we'll fix this later on. You have been veterans of creative suffering. That's not a real thing. I don't even know what that would be. I have no idea what the heck that would be. Um, Continue to work with the faith that you have unearned suffering is redemption. Wait. You have been veterans of creative suffering. Continue to work with the faith that unearned suffering is redemption. I whatever. Everybody has their own opinion on that. I don't believe that you need to suffer just to be redeemed, but whatever. Go back to Mississippi, go back to Alabama, go back to South Carolina, go back to Georgia, go back to Louisiana, go back to the slums and the ghettos of our northern cities. Know that somehow this situation can and will be changed. Let us not wallow in the valley of despair. That I'm not really impressed with this section. I'm assuming that what he's about to do is some kind of call to action through here. But who knows? I say to you, my friends, so even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal. Love it. Is all men are created equal the Constitution or the Bill of Rights? Declaration of Independence. Okay, thank God. Boom. I have a dream that one day the Red Hills of Georgia, the son of the former slave. Wait. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the son of a former slave and the son of a former slave owner will be able to sit down together at a table of brotherhood. I like that. I have a dream that one day, even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, will be transformed into an oasis of freedom. I have a dream that the four little children will one day live in a nation where they will not wait. That my four little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day in Alabama, with its vicious racists, with its governor having his lips dripped with the words of interposition, I'm going to be honest, guys. Ooh, sorry, I just knocked my mic over. Hope that wasn't too loud for you. I have never used this word. If I don't know a word, we acting, interpose someone or something. Okay, interposition is interposing someone. Okay. If I haven't seen a word, I like to look it up so we're not just reading a random thing, okay? And nullification. One day, right there in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and little white girls as sisters and brothers. I have a dream. I have a dream that one day every valley shall be exalted, every hill and mountain shall be made low, the rough places will be made plain, and the crooked places will be made straight. And the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together. This is our hope. This is the faith that I go back to the south with. With this faith, we will be able to hew out the mountains of despair and stone of hope. With this faith, we will be able to transform the jangling discord of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood. With this faith, we will be able to work together, to pray together, to struggle together, to go to jail together, to stand up for freedom together, knowing that we will be free one day. This will be the day. This will be the day when all God's children will be able to sing with new meaning, my country, this of tea. Sweet land of liberty, O thee, I sing, land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride. From every mountainside let freedom ring. And if America is to be a great nation, this must become true. So let freedom ring from the prodigious hilltop of New Hampshire. Let freedom ring from the mighty mountains of New York. Let freedom ring from the highlights of the Alleghenies of Pennsylvania. Let freedom ring from the snow-capped Rockies of Colorado. Good shout out to Colorado. Let freedom ring from the curvaceous slopes of California. But not only that, let freedom ring from the Stone Mountain of Georgia. Let freedom ring from Lookout Mountain of Tennessee, or Lookout Mountain of Tennessee. Let freedom ring from every hill and every molehill of Mississippi. From every mountainside, let freedom ring. And when this happens, and when we allow freedom to ring, we let it ring from every village and every hamlet, from every state and every city. We will be able to speed up the day when all of God's children, black and white, Jew and Gentile, Protestant and Catholic, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we're free at last. Okay. So, do we want to continue annotating all this crap? Yes, we need to. Honestly, this is just to me, and I want to get to where we're at the place. This just seemed like a whole bunch of shout outs to me. I mean, it's true. But you know when somebody's like at a concert, it's like anybody here from California? You know what I mean? The shout out. Okay, boom. You know, I honestly I believe this is super well written and stuff. Oh, they're offering to let us do stuff. Okay, substance. Honestly, it's 6 o'clock already, guys. This substance section we're gonna start tomorrow. Um, yeah. Let me see where we're at progress wise. I feel we just knocked out a chunk. We only did 2% more today. We were at 11% yesterday. What the freaking crap is that? What are we looking at? Op in. Oh, it's because everything is. Oh, I get it. Never mind, guys. We're good. Like, we're knocking a small percent, but the majority of the percent is the op ed thing and other crap. And so when we turn it in, we'll jump way up here. Let's look over this. No, we're good. I think we're happy with this. Okay, guys, I do want to thank you so much for hanging out today, being freaking epic. We're going to pick back up with this. Did we not do this section? Why isn't it checked off? Oh, we definitely did that word. Okay. Okay, yep, that's where we're going to end for the day. It looks like we're rocking it through it. I would like to see more little dots and stuff. We have only 8 modules. Um, I'll we'll knock out a crap load. Tomorrow we'll probably get into this module too. At this rate, I think this might take us 8-9 days to finish this whole class. Maybe not. It's really hard to tell. It does seem that they literally just picked super liberal type crap though. Just as a honest, this isn't though. This isn't really, but and maybe you know what? I've read the Red Scare stuff before. McCarthy was kind of a nutbag. Okay, well, this is where we're stopping. Thank you guys for hanging out. Peace and very best wishes. I hope you guys have an amazing day. Make sure to like and subscribe. Outside of that, just have a great day.